software, and I had it all set up, all the different little things I'm going to show everybody. But since
Right.
I'm using the hotspot, I guess it's not shooting enough RAM or whatever, gigabytes or whatever to function. So it started buffering on me, which totally,
Oh shit.
yeah, it's all right. I gotta get either a mobile Wi-Fi spot or I gotta get another router so I can connect it closer to outside to where I'm at, so I can get a good signal.
Okay.
Um, my little
Oh, okay.
my little man cave that I got, when I insulated it with that foil thermal insulation.
Right.
So it's kind of like a fucking ferret box in here as far as reception.
Oh.
I used to get reception.
Right.
I used to get really good reception, and then I insulated it, and it fucking totally blows.
Yeah.
We got one person, we got one viewer. I have
Okay.
no idea who it is, so
Are we live right now?
yeah, we're live. So if you want to just say hi to everybody or to the one viewer we have, it's probably Miss D.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's probably Miss D.
It's my probably my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for letting me be on this platform with you, man. I spent a little time here, and I got to call and check up with mom. And I just wanted to stop in on and see how you were doing and say hello to your viewers. And you guys can check me out on Solid Behind Blue Eyes. And I just dropped a video about 2 minutes ago, well, about 5 minutes ago. But yeah, we're just chilling, man. How you doing?
Um. Yeah, I kind of do PNG Media News. PNG Media News is in the house. I'm just right here. I'm actually my son's gonna make dinner tonight. We're having Korean barbecue. Miss D,
Oh
am I
wow.
right? Miss D's favorite food, Asian.
Yeah, she loves Asian food. Yep.
Yeah. Uh, PNG Media
Yep.
News. If you just give me a chance, I was explaining to Brant. I was actually trying to do a live on my computer using the OBS, but I started buffering again, really bad because I'm using the hotspot off my phone. So by next week, I'm gonna get a hotspot or a router. So, yeah, and I'm gonna be able to show all these images. That's what I was gonna do tonight. I was gonna show a lot of the stuff that I have. But as far as the shoe wars, yeah, I actually do. I actually have a letter from an individual, I believe from 19. I want to say 1972, or it might be 1971, and he claims that the shoe war, or this whole war, started a month prior between the northern Mexicans and the southern Mexicans, and that it was actually instigated by staff. I mean, I have that. I don't want to read it, and I don't really want to talk about it, so I can get the buffering issue fixed, and then I can show you. And it's real interesting. Like Brant, like you tell us all the time, Brant, you're not denying that issues don't happen inside of there, but 90% of the times they're instigated, fostered, or contrived by rumors that are spread by nasty staff, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's a lot of it's contrived by the cops, by IGI. IGI is a institutional gang investigators. That's what that stands for, institutional gang investigators. And they love to start problems amongst races. Uh, and if they got all the races going at each other, they just sit back and they take our shit, take and take. Because they got nothing to worry about. But when everybody's together, focused and united on the real enemy, you know, we can move mountains. We can move mountains. But yes, mostly started by staff, bud. You know my position.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, if you pull all the threads, and other than just listen to the media's outlet, you usually find some shadiness somewhere in there, somewhere where it was
Yeah,
instigated. You know what I mean?
yeah, you'll always find it.
And it,
It's not hard to find.
no, 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 it's not. You just got to pay attention and kind of
That's it.
read between the lines. Maybe like watch the Smith tubers and just read between the lines, because I mean
Yeah, right.
they use partial truth to lie to you. So a lot of times that you can a lot of the truth inside their lives.
Yeah, right. Right, absolutely. They'll take a grain of truth and put a bunch of bullshit to it. Is what I say, you know.
Yeah. Can you guys hear Brant pretty good?
Can y'all hear me all right or what?
I put
Let
you.
us know.
I put the mic a little closer, so. Brant,
All right.
are you familiar with the recent indictment with an individual by the name of Big U who is a YouTube influencer?
No. No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're familiar with Dubs V, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I know who that
yeah,
is.
he's the individual that I want to say maybe 2 years ago started instigating racial beef with Dubs V over the infamous Pelican Bay riot. They both claim that they were at the riot, and they both claim that they were like superhero gangsters knocking everyone out, and more or less they were just subconsciously instigating tensions again, between blacks and browns. But I was just familiar with if you heard of him because yeah, he just got wrapped up in a federal indictment, and he happens to be an influencer, social media influencer.
Really?
Okay, the sound's up
Wow,
and
that's
down.
not good, man.
Yeah.
That's that's not good, man.
Okay. The sound is
That's
go.
not good.
Okay, the sound is going up and down. Let me see if I can do something. I'm just using my little mic again. I had my whole setup and my mic really good on that OBS, but the buffering issues.
Hmm.
The sound goes up and
Yeah,
down.
that's not good.
Okay. That fucking totally sucks. I wonder if it's the
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the jack on my phone. Uh,
Hmm.
well, let's see here. Let's see here. Let me. We did this last time. We used a regular mic, right? Can you guys hear us?
Yeah,
Can you
I
guys hear us
think
all
so.
right using the regular iPhone mic?
I think that's what you used before.
Yeah. Let me find something to raise you up a little bit here. There, see you a little closer. There.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you guys hear me now?
The
Let me
sound is
know.
the same, huh? That it's probably my
Hmm.
fucking old ass phone, dude. I gotta update. I'm one of those people that ride my phone till the wheels
Oh.
fall off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're expensive, man.
Yeah. So then maybe it is my phone and not the little mic, huh?
Hmm.
That's fucking bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
We'll just do a short one, guys. We'll just do a short live. I'll let Brant give you guys an update of what's going on with him. Brant, you want the floor?
Yeah. I'll say what's up. All right, thank you. What's up, man? Hang on, Outlaw. Okay, yeah, we're just chilling. I'm waiting to see what happens. I guess the Fed people signed off for us to go to the Fed, but I don't believe shit until it happens. You guys know me already. I like that see it, let's see it to believe it stuff. I don't believe nothing I hear. So, and half of what I see, because your brain plays tricks on you. And so I just been chilling, man, waiting to see what comes next and trying to dodge the dummies, right?
Yes, sir.
Trying to stay out of the bullshit and do my thing. All right, thank you, man. All right, Hagen, and stay in my lane. That's the best recipe for one, staying alive, and two, keeping my head out of the bullshit, staying in my lane, man. But you guys, this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Come check me out on Solid Behind Blue Eyes, man. I got a bunch of lives over there. And I did a real good one yesterday. You probably like it, Outlaw. Did you hear that one I did yesterday?
I started to. I started to.
Yeah.
Where the hell are all?
Yeah. I won't. I usually don't take shots at people like I did yesterday, but this kid, I don't know if he's a kid or not, man. He's been having my name in his fucking dick sucker, and I don't know the dude, right? And I don't appreciate people, I don't know, talking shit. Now, if you're gonna talk shit, I get it, right? Hey, see, if you're gonna talk shit, I get it, right? Put your name to it, though. If you're man enough to thump your chest and let some diarrhea fall out your mouth, put your name to it. Be a man to put your real fucking name on it. And if you're not, you're just exposing you a big old bitch. So, that's all I say right here. With respect. But that's it, man. I just stay in my lane and do my thing, man. Other than that, what's up, man? What's cracking?
Not much. PNG Media News wanted to know if you have any insight on the recent recent killings in the visiting.
No, PNG, I send mine to you, bro. That shit happened at the SNY yard, partner. Uh, Mill Creek, the whole prison is PC, the EOP. So, that's all them. That ain't no GP dude, so, but they're gonna try to blur that line and make it look like we got something to do with it, and we ain't got nothing to do with it. And that was actually a conjugal visit, a trailer park visit overnight, and a couple dudes strangled out their old ladies or something, and that's not. You have 60 seconds remaining. You don't do that type of shit, man. But that's what that happened in Mill Creek, and Mill Creek is all SNY. So here, I'll call back out long. Then after this next call, I gotta call my mom, bud.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mickey does it. Salute. Does the sound a little bit better? I'm trying. I'm using a little lavalier mic. It's a little cheap mic that I got with some little apparatus. Does that sound a little better? Or is it still going low and high? I'll have it fixed. For sure, I'll have that issue fixed by next week. I'm either gonna get a mobile Wi-Fi, or I'm just gonna get a router, another router, so I can get fucking killer reception. I got 5G. I got really good reception. I just can't get it as far back as where I'm at. Okay. Okay. They said the sound's pretty consistent. Yeah. Trip out. It's a little fucking free lavalier mic that I got with a little $20 little apparatus with my boy. How weird, huh? You spend more money on other shit and they don't work. Yeah. So go ahead, Brant. Since you're only gonna be with us a little bit, you tell us what you want to tell us. Anything?
Uh, just that, the rise in staff assault is coming from SNYs, right? And I still stand on that. It's still running rampant, and they are still trying to do their blur line shit on us. Uh, and again, that shit happened with visitors getting, not turning out too well, dying basically, and that's SNY, EOPR, not GP, but they're already starting to hit their war drones about taking conjugal visits from everybody. And how's that right for us? We didn't do that shit. That shit was isolated incident in one prison. And that shows you how corrupt the system is over there, right? So it's corrupt everywhere, but that's all the SNYs, man. And, I did a good video on yesterday about the staff, and how it only takes a spark to start a problem with a prisoner. And I'll give you an example like I did on mine, was that shit at Pelican Bay in 2017, two guys got a little too much Pruno in them and started fighting on the yard, and it was over. One guy got down, the other guy got down, and this cop kept kicking this Mexican in his head, and while he was down and knocked him out.
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Multiple times he was kicking that man in his head. Well, the guy he was fighting jumped up to help his homeboy because, you know, they were just drunk fist fighting. He's still his homeboy, you know, and he jumped up to get the cop off of him, and then the other cops jumped on him, and then the homeboys jumped up and got on him, and then more cops came, and then more homeboys came, and it got out of hand because of one spark, because of a dumbass cop couldn't control his discipline. So when you guys hear on these other platforms, especially that prime minister down there, that you know, cops are good and cops this and staff assaults there, and staff assaults and staff assault. Man, a lot of that shit is contrived and it's started by a cop. So, you know, I mean, as far as us GP go, you know, now, and I get it, the system's a lot bigger than GP. I understand that. But say it, you know, where it came from, identify the prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, identify what type of yard. And like, again, sometimes it's just a cop, inmate, or prisoner stepping on the boot of a cop, or a shoulder bump of a cop, right? You know, and that's how they do it. And it's like, that's not an assault. That ain't nothing. You know, but they fucking pump it up, and they do it to fluff their numbers. They do it to fluff their numbers. So, you know, I don't know. That's what I'm saying, and it's still going on. It's still going on, and it's gonna get worse, worse, and worse, man. So that's what I got, bro. You guys got any questions? Let me know.
Miggy Does It says he has a J-Cat homie he thinks was a new Folsom right now. And he was wondering if you might know him. But he didn't leave his name. So if he leaves a name, I'll let you know.
What? Okay.
Now, I want to touch on what you just said. Because very interesting. Because when you read a lot of the old articles, anywhere between like 71 to like 73, even 74, you'll hear a lot of the critics complaining that CDC, back then they didn't have the R, they would often complain that CDC wouldn't clarify. They'll tell you, okay, we have X amount of stabbings this year, or X amount of this, or X amount of that. But they would never tell you exactly how much of that was actually attributed to gang related. And they would intentionally do that because then again, they can kind of make it seem like everything is gang related when in fact only a small number really was. Kind of like today.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want to use all the violence to make the general population, specifically the individuals who are part of the end of hostilities, seem like they're evil. But if you were actually to clarify it and let's say make a pie graph or some sort of charting system, you'll clearly see that. You mean the overwhelming violence is coming from F and Y, the individuals who claim that they left that life, right? So there'd be no violence,
Right.
no betrayal, none of that. But in reality, I mean, they're the core. I mean, that's where it all comes from.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. If you do, like, if we chart it like on a pie chart, you will definitely see, and if you do and you break down the statistics, like they call this, a while back, something happened in High Desert, and they call it an attempted murder, right? That's what they classified it as, an attempted murder. And a cop got scratches, went and got treated at a medical clinic, and left a couple hours later. That is not an attempted murder, right? That
No.
is not an attempted murder. Now, but they classify that as an attempted murder to influence the public's perception of prison.
Exactly.
Of prison.
Exactly.
You know? That's what they're doing.
I'll give a good point right now. But Miggy Does It put the individual's name, Gary Zaragoza. I don't know if you know him.
Gary
Zaragoza.
No, I don't know him, but
Yeah. Well,
no.
maybe you never know. Maybe you see some weirdo next time and be like, hey, I think that's the guy. Find out his name. Um, there there was a recent indictment recently, as a matter of fact, related to another snitch influencer, some poser, some poser Sureño rapper. Um, and one of the murders that they were trying to claim took place in San Diego, and they were trying to make it seem like I don't know if you're familiar with Chicano Park, but it's a famous park in San Diego,
Okay.
and they were trying to make it seem like Chicano Park is like this bad area, you know, gang infested, and that this murder took place. Right? The media, that's how they presented it.
Okay.
But when you actually read the story, which I did, it turns out that this murder took place 2 blocks from the park at 2 o'clock in the morning, and none of the individuals that were involved with the shooting or the victims were actually at the park.
Right.
One guy was just walking,
Right.
and I guess a car rival gang members passed by, and he shot and killed one of them. But it had nothing to do with
Wow.
it had nothing to do with the park. But
Amen.
the media and law enforcement, are like, hey, this is a good opportunity for us to make a good. It's a well known for Chicano activism and stuff like that with the history of it, and they've always hated this place. I believe they wanted to build a police station there, a substation, and the community
Okay.
protested and said, no, we wanted a community park. But anyways, yeah, the story makes it seem like there's violence happening at this park every day, but in reality, hey, tell the truth. It happened at 2 in the morning, 2 blocks away from the park, and none of the individuals had anything to do with going to the park or coming from the park.
Wow, that's crazy.
But, you know,
Hey, Outlaw,
yes,
check this. So, and I said this yesterday, right, on my video. Uh, the video I did yesterday, I don't remember the title, but so in our Rico case, my buddy Ronnie got convicted of my shit in Salinas Valley, right? This bullshit thing that happened in Salinas, and and he had no idea of the issue, right? He didn't even know the dead guy, the guy that died. He had zero clue about it until 2 days later when IGI pulled him up and said, your boy Scoops is in the hole. And he said, for what? And they said this, that, and the other. And he didn't even know. Zero clue. And yet he got convicted of a conspiracy, being a part of it.
well,
Right?
that's how
Okay,
they
now
do it.
watch this. Right, now watch this. The prison didn't have no gang shit on me on the write-up. Zero gang nexus, right? Zero gang, no gang connection. Okay? The state didn't have a gang connection. Okay? Yet the feds created a gang connection. And picked it up as a gang hit. And convicted my friend of it, who had zero idea of the issue, but yet they say he was involved in conspiring. Now, what kind of fucking shit is that? Right? That tells you guys how bad the court system is and how disgusting and flawed this injustice system, I call it, the injustice system really is.
No, you got a very good valid point because I mean that's what makes the conspiracy or a RICO case so scary because most of the charges are usually conspiracy, which are just really just contrived allegations, which most individuals may or may not be aware of the crime that took place and may or may have not actually participated in, but because you associate with the guy who associates with the guy who associates with the guy who was
Yep.
involved with it,
Yep.
you're gonna do 20 years to life.
Yep. Yep. That's how fucked up it is, folks. Think about that, man. If you're on your phone talking to somebody because somebody got beat up and you laugh about it, well, you can be charged
Yep.
and they can switch that up on you.
Yep.
Like I laughed about some dude with Ronnie. This guy got in debt. He got stabbed. Okay, we were hoping he learned his lesson. Went to high desert. He got in debt again, big debt, and he died. I laughed about it because he's stupid, right? What a dumb fuck. Ronnie laughed about it. He's a stupid fuck. And and yet they picked it up online, called it a conspiracy, and convicted him on a conspiracy. He had nothing to do with it.
I actually read that part.
Nothing.
I actually read that part of the indictment, and what I found hilarious is that phone call was actually a year or like months after the actual incident actually took place. So it wasn't
Yeah,
something like
months
happened that
after.
evening or the next day. It was, I think, a year later.
Yeah, yeah, it was way later. I just heard about it.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We were talking like, what the fuck, man? What a dumb fuck. What an idiot to do it again, right? He just got through one wreck, and now, he got a clean slate, whatever, and then he got into another wreck, and he didn't make it out of that wreck, and I thought he was kind of stupid. It was so stupid, it was funny to me. And, it's fucking pathetic the way the injustice system works. Huh.
You know what's funny though is
It
that
really is.
if they were tapping the phones of or tablets of other individuals throughout the prison system, how many people how many people in the prison system are having that same similar conversation about the same individual and probably laughing about it too, like, hey, the guy caught himself in a wreck, like what an idiot, right?
Right,
But
right.
they but
That's more prevalent than anything. Yep. That's
um
more prevalent than anything, bro.
um I really don't hold on, excuse me. Miggy does it. I really don't like to. I've asked him about this before, and he doesn't like to really talk about stuff like that, and I wouldn't want to recommend him talking about stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
What's, what's the question
Uh,
now? Well, tell
they
me,
they
and I'll
wanted
tell you if I can answer.
they wanted to
You have
know if
60
you
seconds remaining.
well you kind of told us last time
Huh?
if you believe that the hit on Yogi Pinnell was put out by CDCR.
Oh, I don't really know,
Yeah,
man, and I don't know the depth of it, man, and so I refrain from getting in it, and I appreciate that.
yeah,
I appreciate you speaking for me on that. So, okay, look, bro. With that said, I got to get over here and call my mom, and I send my you and everybody, your listeners. You guys take care of yourself. I hope y'all well, and thank you for letting me join your platform tonight, man. Maybe next time I'll get a little bit more time on here. We'll check it out when we cross that bridge, man. So with that, bro, take care, and I'll holler at you again on the rebound, my friend. You
yes.
guys stay up, check out Solid Behind Blue Eyes, man. Subscribe and like. All right, Outlaw.
All right. Have a good
Thank you,
night.
bro. Okay, you too, buddy. All right, Bill.
All right, guys. So I'll just spend a couple of minutes. Like I said, I was trying to. I was having the buffering issues again with my computer, so I wasn't able to do that. But I have everything set up on my computer to show you up all the documentations of what I said last week about Rene Boxer Enriquez and Mundo's video about Black August. But I agree with you, Miggy does it. If you really look at a lot of the evidence and a lot of the stuff, it does seem like they created a scenario to cause the demise of Yogi Pinal. I truly think so. Now, PNG Media News asked a very good question, and let me repeat this: were any of the early NF also brown berets? It seems that NF early on had a revolutionary stance. Yes. See, now I gotta get, like I said, I'm gonna get the buffering issues fixed. I actually have the testimony from the first ever Nuestra Familia informant testified, and he claims what you just said, that from the beginning, Nuestra Familia, most of them, were involved with the Chicano movement. Yeah, and no, that I know of, I can't think of any of them that were brown berets, but I do know Sundown, right? You guys know who Sundown is, right? He'd appeared on Convict's Perspective and a few other YouTube channels. Sundown self-proclaimed that he was a member of Tribal Thumb, and I believe there is several members that were Nuestra Familia members who were members of Tribal Thumb. PNG Media News, you ever heard of Tribal Thumb? Anyone heard of Tribal Thumb before? I'm trying to get these guys on. They're from the Bay Area and they document the political history of the Bay Area. and they know a shitload of a history on tribal thumb and how it connects to the prison. I believe most of the original members of tribal thumb were all ex-convicts, and I believe it was a multiracial, yes, tribal thumb. It was a multiracial group. I mean, they've been described as similar to, like, I guess, the black or the multiracial Manson family, because they lived in a bus. And I believe the founder is Earl Stature. I don't know if any of you guys know who Earl Stature is, but I believe he was a member of the Black Panthers while in San Quentin. And it hasn't been confirmed, but it's frequently said that he's an original member of the Black Gorilla family or an associate, something like that. Um, I guess. I mean, it's with an S, not with a T. Yeah, but Earl Stature, Stacher. Earl Stature, Tribal Thumb. You guys should look him up. He's well known in the prison system. But Sundown, I mean, I guess. I mean, I've never really heard his stories, or then again, I've never really heard him proclaim to be this fucking superhero convict. But I mean, he seemed like he liked to party, meaning like to drink and use drugs. And Tribal Thumb was basically known as like a commune of fucking druggy convicts. Really, what's really interesting is that there's an early murder. I want to say 1973 or maybe 74 that took place at DBI where a correction officer was killed. Now, for years, it's been said that this murder was committed by the Nuestra Familia. Well, if you go into Tribal Thumb history lore, according to them, that murder was committed by Tribal Thumb members. I've been kind of waiting to do a story on this because I've been kind of communing back and forth with these individuals online, but I want them to come on and do a story. Yeah, I heard them and they like broke down how Tribal Thumb is directly connected to the prison system, and these individuals repeatedly referenced that Tribal Thumb was some sort of offshoot similar to the SLA, and we all know what the SLA was, right? Man, I got to get this shit fucking my Wi-Fi situation fixed. Cause I have all. I was gonna show you guys everything. I was even gonna show you a picture, and it's Doc Holliday with members of the SLA. But yeah, I mean that early murder, 73, 74 DVI. It's legendary from what I heard. In Nuestra Familia lore, it's legendary that the Nuestra Familia pulled off that hit. But according to the individuals from Tribal Thumb, which, like Sundown claims, was a member of Tribal Thumb, it's sad that he passed away when I found out this information because I would have liked to communicated with him and asked him who else was affiliated with the Nuestra Familia and a member of Tribal Thumb. Homie Hangout, I don't know if you're still in the chat room. Have you ever heard of Tribal Thumb and an association with the Nuestra Familia? Yeah, Tribal Thumb kind of did, but as a matter of fact, Earl Stature and certain members of Tribal Thumb actually were known to be saboteurs of the black community, the black movement. I believe, they tried to kill one of the San Quentin Six in like 1977 or 78. They're responsible for, I guess, there was like a massive food distribution system, a grassroots uh, food distribution system in the Bay Area. I forget what it was called, but they had a massive system that was created by a lot of the groups, Black Panthers and other leftist groups. And Tribal Thumb, I guess, allegedly was the wrench in the wheel that kind of destroyed that organization or something like that. And these individuals ran a co-op where they were helping feed like thousands of black people in the Bay Area. Um, I don't know if these guys get paid so much. Maybe they do, look at it this way: law enforcement comes and recruits you and tells you, "We're gonna make you famous, right? We're gonna use our resources to make you popular, our media outlets to make you popular. We're gonna put you on all the popular platforms and make you blow up." And I mean, you basically are gonna become a social media Uncle Tom and sell out not only your race, but other working class individuals who are suffering like you. But in the back end, you get to keep money. Whatever money you make, you get to keep. I mean, think about that for a moment. These people are basically the modern day version of celebrities. I mean, I don't know if we can consider them on the level of like a Hollywood celebrity yet, but look at Wes Watson. Look at some of these guys, dude. 1090 Jake. Some of these guys have developed some clout. I mean, these guys are celebrities. I mean, some of these fucking cholo snitch influencers like Marvelous, they could show up to the Santa Fe Springs swap meet and everyone wants to take pictures with them. No one calls them out that they're fucking dropouts. You mean? I don't think anyone should assault them, threaten them in any way, shape, or form, but they should be called out for what it is, especially the ones who pretend to be active. They should be called out like Bozo. You mean? Somebody needs to throw his ass on blast on a live and be like, "Hey, homie, you proclaim to be the super active level 4 Sureño, but you parole from a fucking level 1 fucking non-active prison. What's up? Explain yourself."